Right now, something is looking at you. Maybe it's a dog, maybe a bird outside your window, maybe a cat watching from across the room. And in that moment, a brain very different from yours is trying to figure out one thing. What are you? You think you know what you are. You're a human. Simple. But here's the strange part. No animal on Earth sees you the way you see yourself. To each of them, you are something completely different. To one, you're a parent. To another, you're a giant. To some, you're a god. And to a few, you are the most terrifying monster alive. Most people think animals just see a person, but that's not true at all because animals don't have the word human. They have no idea what we are, so their brains do something fascinating. They try to force you into a category that already exists in their world, and the results are stranger than you'd ever guess. Stay till the end, because the last one will change how you see yourself forever. Let's start with the animal that loves you most, the dog. When your dog looks at you, what does it think you are? For a long time, people assumed dogs see us as the leader of their pack, the alpha. But newer science says something much sweeter. In 2015, a team led by Takefumi Kikusui in Japan ran a simple test. They watched what happens when a dog and its owner stare into each other's eyes, and they found something incredible. When you and your dog lock eyes, both of your brains release a chemical called oxytocin. It's the exact same bonding chemical released between a human mother and her baby, the same one. Let that sink in. When a mother gazes at her newborn, her brain floods with love. And when your dog gazes at you, the very same thing happens. In both of you. So to your dog, you might not be a pack leader at all. You might be a parent. It looks at you the way a child looks at its mom. You are its safety. Its whole world. The one it runs to when it's scared. But here's where it gets interesting. Not every animal is so loving. Let's talk about the cat. Because cats see you in a way that might bruise your ego. The biologist John Bradshaw spent decades studying cat behavior, and he noticed something strange. Dogs change their behavior completely around humans, but cats treat us almost exactly like they treat other cats. They rub against us, they groom us, they bring us gifts, they raise their tails to greet us. These are all things cats only do with other cats. So what does that mean? It means your cat probably doesn't think you're a different species at all. To your cat, you are just a big, clumsy, slightly stupid cat. A cat that can't hunt properly. A cat that needs to be taught. That's why your cat brings you dead mice. It's not a gift. It thinks you're a hopeless hunter who needs feeding. In its mind, it's taking care of you. So your dog sees you as a parent, and your cat sees you as a giant, useless kitten. But what about the animals that don't live with us? The wild ones. This is where it gets darker. Let's talk about crows. Crows are some of the smartest animals on the planet, and they have a terrifying ability. They remember human faces. In 2011, a scientist named John Marsluff did a chilling experiment. His team wore a specific rubber mask. Then they trapped a few wild crows while wearing it. They didn't hurt them. They just held them for a moment and let them go. But the crows never forgot that face. For years afterward, anytime someone wore that same mask, the crows attacked. They screamed. They dive-bombed. They warned every other crow in the area. And here's the disturbing part. Crows that were never even trapped learned to hate the mask too. The parents taught their babies. The flock passed the memory on. So to a crow, you're not just a person. You are a face, a specific face. One it might remember for the rest of its life. A friend. Or an enemy for years. But it gets even more impressive. Let's go bigger. Let's talk about elephants. Elephants don't just remember us, they judge us. In 2014, a researcher named Karen McComb studied wild elephants in Kenya. She played recordings of human voices for them, and the elephants reacted differently to each one. When they heard the voice of a Maasai man, they got scared. Because the Maasai sometimes hunt elephants. But when they heard the voice of a Kamba man, they relaxed. Because those people don't. The elephants could tell the difference, just from the sound of a voice. They could even tell men from women, and adults from children. Think about that. An elephant hears you speak, and in seconds it decides how dangerous you are, your age, your gender, the kind of human you are. To an elephant, you are a threat to be measured carefully, but not every wild animal fears us. Some are simply curious. This brings us to the ocean, and maybe the strangest gaze of all. The dolphin. Dolphins are one of the few animals that seem to study us back. The scientist Diana Rice proved that dolphins can recognize themselves in a mirror. They have a sense of self. They know they are someone. And when a dolphin meets a human, it often doesn't run. It investigates. It circles you. It looks at you with one eye, then the other. Divers describe a feeling of being scanned, examined, like the dolphin is asking its own question. What is this strange creature? To a dolphin, you might be a fellow mind, another thinking being in the water, something worth understanding. So you've been a parent, a clumsy cat, a remembered face, a measured threat, and a curious puzzle. But now we come to the deepest truth of all, and it's the one nobody expects. Here's the real reason animals struggle to understand us. We don't fit anywhere. Every animal's brain divides the world into simple boxes. Predator, prey, mate, or background, that's it. And for millions of years, those boxes worked perfectly until we showed up, because humans break every box. We're not a normal predator. We don't have claws or fangs. We don't chase like a lion, but we kill more than any predator alive. We're not prey either. We fight back in ways nothing else does. We're not big and slow. We're not small and fast. We walk upright on two legs, a shape almost nothing else in nature has. To most animals, that standing posture looks bizarre, even threatening. So when an animal looks at you, its brain glitches. It can't find the right box. You're a predator that doesn't hunt like one, a weakling that's somehow the deadliest thing around, a creature that gives food and takes life, that heals animals and hunts them. You are a walking contradiction, and that confusion is exactly why we're so powerful. Remember the scientists Liana Zanet and Chris Darabont? Their research showed that humans are the planet's super predator. Animals fear our voice more than the roar of a lion. Not because we look scary, but because we're unpredictable. An animal can learn the rules of a lion. It cannot learn the rules of us. We use tools, we use fire, we attack from a distance, we come in groups, we change our behavior constantly. To the animal kingdom, we are chaos, a threat with no pattern. And the unknown is always more frightening than the known. So let's go back to the beginning. To that animal watching you right now, it's still trying to figure you out. And depending on what it is, it sees something totally different. Your dog sees the parent it adores. Your cat sees a big, helpless cat to look after. A crow sees a face it will never forget. An elephant hears a threat it must measure. A dolphin sees a mind like its own, and a wild predator sees a monster it cannot understand. Every set of eyes, a different version of you, none of them the real one. And here's the part that turns it all back on you. You will never know what you truly look like. Not really, you only see yourself in mirrors and photos. A flat reflection, but every living thing around you sees a different creature entirely. A parent, a giant, a god, a monster, a mystery. You spend your whole life thinking you know exactly what you are, but you are surrounded by minds that see someone you've never met. And maybe that's the strangest truth of all. The one creature on Earth that can never see you clearly is you.